Fortunately, we're no stranger to hard work and we're no stranger to remodeling houses. So some of the first things we're going to need to do are increase the cooling, increase the electrical capacity to this house, and make sure the place is secured. Here's how we're going to get it done. Hey, my name is Eric Ducommon, real estate investor, pilot, and military reservist. Recently, I've been thinking about turning one of my rental properties into a crypto mining facility. So one of the big things with real estate is highest and best use. So when you're talking about some of these low-end homes, fixing them up, remodeling them for a traditional rental where you're going to screen for a 600 or greater credit score, put somebody in that makes 3 times the rent in income, and then rent it out where you're going to handle all the repairs, may not be the highest and best use for the property. Some of these lower end homes, by the time you put that much effort into it, you're not going to be able to get the kinds of rents you need for it to be worth it. But what about mining crypto out of the house? Now, I think we could reach a potential where we don't have to run a full remodel on the house, but some of the things that we're going to do to be able to mine crypto are going to help improve the underlying fundamentals of the property. And so maybe we can find a higher and better use than traditional rental real estate for the property and still be improving a lot of the fundamentals of the property for subsequent rental use. So hear me out on this. Some of the things that we're going to need to improve include the electrical connectivity, the cooling, and the physical security of the home. So as we're doing those 3 things to make a viable crypto mining facility out of the house, those are all going to carry over once we go through with a full remodel for a tenant. Now that we've committed to this idea, or at least to thinking about the idea of building a crypto mining facility in one of our rental homes, what's the first thing we need to do? This thing is going to have a huge drain of power for both computing and cooling to keep our processor rack cooled. So we're going to have to upgrade the electrical. A lot of these homes under $5,000, you can check out the playlist up above. I'll put a card up here or up here, somewhere up there, about how to buy homes under $5,000. If this is something you're interested in, please check out that playlist for houses under $5,000 and watch it all the way through. You'll see how to get some of these very inexpensive homes. If you have one of these inexpensive homes and you're looking for a way to monetize it, you probably know that the power is probably 110 service, so we need to upgrade that, and we need to go ahead and get a 200 amp service on. So as we're trying to upgrade the service on the house, it's something you can usually do pretty easily. I did it myself on a home recently. Once we upgrade the power service to the house, we're also going to need to make sure that we have some big 50 amp service several places in the house so we can hook up additional cooling units in the home. So when you put your breaker box on the house, you're going to want to make sure you have plenty of room for dual channels. We're going to want to run a ton of cooling into the rooms where these servers are going to be placed, or we're going to want to make sure that they have a good flow through for a pretty hefty fan system. I'm not sure if we're going to need to put in wall units, but installing wall units is one of the easiest ways to get a bunch of cooling into a room very quickly. If we don't go with that, there's probably going to be a way that we can rig either some attic fans or some other way to pump air through the rooms to keep those servers cool. What do you guys think? If you have experience with cooling a server room, please let me know what your suggestion is down below. We haven't started this yet, so I'll take those into consideration. Once we have our cooling set up, we're going to want to make sure that we have good connectivity. So hardwiring internet through the house is going to be very important to make sure all those servers are connected all the time and we don't run a risk of Wi-Fi breaking down or some other connectivity loss. I haven't run Cat5 cable through a house before, but since this is just going to be a server farm, we probably don't have to worry about it looking pretty. We just need to make sure that we get connectivity hardwired to these servers. Lastly, we got the issue of security. So now we've got a huge investment of servers in a house that's not the most expensive. So you run a huge risk there as far as physical security, and then also mining a digital asset like this. I guess we're gonna have a huge digital security issue too. So what are some of your suggestions on how we should firewall this thing off? I don't know. So please, if you have ideas on how to firewall this thing off, put them down below. Physical security, I think we'll probably go with locks. We're gonna have great Wi-Fi connection. So Ring cameras or some other kind of digital security system should be sufficient. What do you think? Beyond locking it up and making sure that we have cameras on it 24/7, what are some other ways that we can keep this thing secure?